Good morning, everyone. I am Ginny Lindsay Largo from College of Agriculture and Forestry. This, so we are the group four, uh, and our report or our outline is the IPM of PetShy. The IPM of PetShy or the Integrated Pest Management of PetShy. Introduction. Petshire or Brassica chinensis is an erect biennial herb cultivated as an annual about 15 to 30 centimeter tall in vegetative state. Seeds are 1 millimeter in diameter and are reddish to blackish brown in color. It is used mainly for its immature but fully expanded tender leaves is used as main ingredient for soup and stir-fried dishes. So we all know or kailangan tingay tatanan sa PetShy no. So aside from using a Chinese PetShy, mas dali i-tanom or mas dali i-plant ang PetShy kay mubura ang iyang lifespan. Itanom lang nimo siya for about 30 to 40 days. Maka-harvest na rin ka og PetShy ana, which is or imong ibaligya or imong i-use for para sa inyong balay. Then the best insect pest and disease management is prevention and knowledge. Each farm will usually have only a few insect pests and diseases that regularly infest or infect their PetShy, and usually one or two regularly cause major crop loss unless activity managed. So we need to use the IPM method in order for us to prevent the infection or the diseases that can manifest our crop PetShy. So we need to apply some activities, like cultural management or mechanical management, or using chemical management, applying chemical substances. Next will be in planting PetShy, there are some conditions in order to prevent pest infestations. So we need to select site. So in planting PetShy, so the first step that you're going to put in mind is the site. So aha makadapit mong tanom. So you need to consider the site. So site selection. So practice crop rotation and choose a site that has not recently grown brassica crops such as PetShy, cauliflower, or any brassica plants to reduce carryover of insect pests or of soil-borne diseases, and to reduce movement of insect pests or diseases from the older to younger crop, and do not plant next to, downwind, or downslope of an older PetShy crop. Kay dali ra kay siya direct magud ang sunlight, so dali malunoy ang imuhang mga PetShy and dili siya ka grow well. So land preparation, next will be the land preparations. So waterlogging, so avoid waterlogging. So you need to have a good drainage so that the pest that is favorable into the waterlog is being prevented. So para ma-prevent mo na, so land preparation is considered as a condition. And next will be the seedling production. So sa seedling production, use certified disease-free seed and clean planting materials. So when you're going to select any seedling or seedling production, so mga liso sa imuhang crop or commodity, you need to use certified disease-free seed. Kay if ang imong seed pa lang nag-contain na siya og diseases, then madala na niya nga disease until nga mo grow on dili mo tubo ang imong tanom if there is any diseases sa seed pa lang nimo. So you need to use clean planting materials in order for your seed to grow faster and not contam. So next will be the transplanting. So transplanting, handle seedlings with care when picking and transplanting. So it is very important sa pagtransplant nimo sa imuhang commodity or crop, any crop, nga sa pagtransplant nimo dapat dili mga bali ang imuhang seeds so that pag transplant nimo dili mga bali ang imuhang seeds para unsa man nang pag mga bali ang imuhang seeds gikan parang sa pagtransplant, then there is a possibility nga katong mga nangabali or ini kuan nga nga putol ang ugat nga ang ulo nga putol, so na possibility nga dili mabuhi ang imuhang tanom nga gitransplant. So useless ra kay tanan ang imong kahago sa pag seedling then ang nahitabo sa pagtransplant ra nga putol. So next will be the vegetative state. If maabot na mo ani nga stage aning vegetative, so diri kasagaran daghan na kayong mga insect nga mo infest sa ato ang crop, especially sa mga leaves niya. So if mo infest man gani ang mga pest or nakay nakita nga diseases or any pest infestations mga inagian nila, so you need to apply some management, which are the chemical, fertilizers, or any management that you're going to use in order for you to maintain the healthy crop. Next will be, so monitor nimo ang imong plant kung okay pa ba ang drainage, ang mga kuan niya, ang mga dahon wala ba mga buslot o wala ba siya show og signs sa mga pest infestations. Then next will be the harvesting. So during harvesting, avoid harvesting during rainy days and when the conditions are wet. Avoid contaminating leaves with soil. Best to pack petchay when leaves are dry. So mostly kasagaran sa atoa sa atoang mga farmers, as I observed, ginharvest gyud nila ang ilahang mga tanom o mga petchay sa kanang dili pud kay init, dili pud ting ulan. Kasagaran kay makuntam ang leaves, mabutngan og mga soils, din makuntam ang leaves and malata. So mo gini malata ang mga petchay na tong crop if imo ang harvest nga ting ulan. So post-harvest, as soon as possible after harvest, uproot any infested or unharvested petchay and dispose by burying or composting to ensure pest or disease cannot be developed. So after nimo nag-harvest, so you need to clean the area nga gipangtamnan nimo og petchay. And katong imong gipangtanom nga petchay, kung napay na nga nahabilin ato, like roots or any leaves sa petchay or sa imong crop or any commodity, you need to clean the area in order for you or for the next nga mutanom ka, walay mga signs or diseases nga imong makita or walay mga disease or mga pest infestation nga mahitabo sa sunod nimo nga cropping. So dili in disposing the unharvested petchay or katong nga petchay nga nahabilin dito like roots or mga unharvested petchay, so you need to dispose it by burying or composting. So dili applicable ang pagsunog dira sa imuhang land kay there is a possibility nga maguba ang imuhang soil And napaghapon yung makabilin nga mga kuan, mga pest ana. So that's all for sa next nga kuan is ako na pong mga ka-groupmates. So this is my task. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Kyla. I'm a third year animal science student. In today's video, let's talk about nature of damage of pest in picture. So, nature of damage of pest is a dumping of soft root and club root are the most important diseases, and aphids are the major insect pests. Spraying hot peppy extra can control these pests. When seedlings begin to wilt, reduce watering immediately. So let's move to the next, which is the sign and symptoms. Okay, these are the mo siyang mga images and mo siyang diseases name, damage, symptoms, and management strategies. So the first is soft root. Damage symptoms. Bacterial soft root cause water soaked spots which eventually enlarge over time and become sunken and soft. As plant tissues break down and die, they release a strong odor. Management strategies: avoid waterlogged soils, improve drainage, grow plants, protected structures. Okay, next is a dumping off. At seedling stage, the stem at ground level becomes thin, brown, and plants fall over. Root systems becomes brown. May mo na siyang brown pag makuan. And then to management strategies, use clean or treated soil or media for seedlings. And then remove infected plants and destroy. Avoid using rice hulls on the bed surface unless they have been composted or carbonized. And then avoid watering and excess fertilizer use. So next is this phytopath Phytophthora blight. Rapid bite rapid biting of leaves, shoot and whole plant. White mycelial growth on the surface is present, especially in very humid conditions. And then plants under moist conditions become weak and die eventually. And then sa management strategies kay practice good crop sanitation, avoiding planting during prolonged wet and cool weather. And then carefully remove infected plants from the garden to minimize source of inocola. Destroy infected plants immediately by burying. Water plants early in the day rather than late in the morning. And then last, picture under protected structures if possible. Okay. Next is the skelectoriotum, skelector, sclerotium root. Loss of vigor, wilting, wilting leading to death of, excuse me, affected plants. Rooting of the stem, starting at the base with the formulation of dense with mycelium that later turn into smooth vesicle structures measuring. And then practices sanitation in the nursery and farm. So, mag-practice daw og sanitation sa nursery, sa farm. And farm. Ensure all equipment is free of soil before being brought to a farm or transferred from farm to farm. Rapidly imitate eliminate plants that show initiate symptoms of the disease and quarantine the area where it is found. This disinfect hands other handling infected plants, long rotation with non-host plants. 4 to 6 years may reduce pathogen in the soil. Okay, next. Mao siya ikaduha nga farmer facet IPM. Mo siya ang ikaduha nga ikaduha nga table sa sign and symptoms. Okay. Next is the blight, damage symptoms. Water soaked lesions appear on the leaves, with the margins and leaf tips becoming blighted. In certain conditions, the entire plant may wilt. Presence of the stiff, silvery mass of hairy starts growing out the affected leaf issue. Top with the black ball. Okay, ang management strategies dahil aning blight is the avoid overhead irrigation. Okay, next is the downy mildew. Yellow spots on leaves turning brown, and then gray mold present on lower leaf surface, especially a problem during rainy seasons. Remove and destroy leaves, reduce planting den- density to improve ventilation, and avoid overhead irrigation, particularly late in the morning. Okay, next is the left leaf spot. Kita man, sorry. Leaf spot. Light brown spots on leaves. Spots, colons, spot to form blighted areas. Okay, dayon. Ang management strategies ay use healthy seedlings, practice sanitation in the field, properly dispose infected plants, and okay, next is the mo siyang major pest of pichay. Mo siyang major pest of pichay. So number one is the alpides. Ang damage symptoms kay deformed leaves, curling, stunted growth. Ants and sooty mold usually seen at high alpide population. So more siya gingon mo. And then ang management strategies maintain beneficial such coconellans, serpids and parasitic wasps and methahizone. Spray soap and solution. Pressured water spray, mo siya ang biologicals, botanicals, and pesticides. So, ang ikaduha sa major pest of pichay kay kaning white flies. Adult suck causing deformed leaves at high populations. So, more siya yellow, sticky traps. Intercrop using non-host crops. And remove weeds, removal and destruction of infected crops. Soap spray and pressured water spray. Okay, next guy, cutworm. Chew and make irregular holes on the leaves. And then collect egg masses and larvae. Plant trap crops such as castor plant, plow soil to minimize pupae survival between crops. And then biologicals. And next is the diamond back moth. Larval feeding cause skeletalized leaves and webbing on the leaves. So, ang management strategies ani niya kay monitor for larvae, yeah, it's larvae, and parasitism, release of larval parasitoids. And then, ang cabbage webworm, ang damage symptoms niya kay egg laid in mass, larvae in clusters, webbing in feeding at the growing tip. And then ang management strategies ano niya kay monitoring and removal of egg, mass and larvae, biologicals and pesticides. Okay, last table sa sign and symptoms kay ang cabbage, webworm, ang damage symptoms ani niya kay egg lays in mass, larvae in clusters, okay. Wala na din cabbage ay webworm. Next day kay leaf miner. Leaf miner. Eggs laid by flies within leaf tissues, white or silver trails seen where larvae tunnel inside leaf, particularly serious in seedlings. Damage serves as entry points for bacterial and fungal infection, only serious in seedlings. And then management strategies aning leaf kay use yellow streaky traps to reduce adult populations and then remove host weeds and destroy crop residues. And then ang last but not the least is flea beetles. Flea, yeah. Adults eat small circular holes. And then management strategies ani beetles is remove alternate weeds host, maintain field sanitation, practice crop rotation and pesticides. Okay, let's move forward to cultural. Okay, cultural can easily be attracted by insect and other harmful pests by punching small holes to the leaves. Spray the leaves if dry. Do not spray the leaves 10 days before harvesting. If attacked by disease, use fungicides under recommended rate in the bottle. And then physical. Okay, let's move to physical. Waterlogging favors many soil-borne diseases, stops plants growing and reduce their change to resisting infection or infestation. So good drainage is important. Raised beds, soil amendments, and protected cropping can reduce changes of waterlogging. Where possible, align beds in direction of prevailing weeds and maximize airflow to reduce leaf wetness. Okay, the third is biological. Most pitchai disease are favored by excess water. Grow on beds, improve drainage, avoid using water or wetting leaves, or use protected cropping in situations with continual disease. Pressure reduce planting density to improve leaf drying. Isolate disease spots. Prevent water flow in or out of the section and limit in the traffic of people and machinery in the infested area. More frequent irrigation or a shorter time is less favorable for disease. So last but not the least is chemical. Petri crops that have optional, not that too much or too little nutrients and water, and are growing in environmental conditions that they are suited to, will grow more quickly, produce highly yields, and in general be more resistant to disease infection and outgrow damage. To see the best practice guide for Pichay. Muna siya ang see the best practice guide for Pichay. So, that is it for my reporting, ma'am. And I'm done. So, proceed sa part 3 which is si Michael Labasan. Thank you, Ma'am, and God bless.
Brassica tapa. Nature of damage of peas. Pichay crop that have optimal nutrition and water are growing environment condition, and they are will grow more quickly, produce higher yield, and this generally be more resistant to disease and outgrowth damage. Sign and symptoms. Insect pest or disease early sign of infectation or infection understanding condition favor their growth, their natural enemies lead to specific management. There are four management control. The first one is cultural control. Pichay is an annual binintual bird. Its leaves are smooth 30 centimeter long, broad at the tips, narrow, gradually at the base, extending downward to the upper end of elongated. Leaves are erect, flower are pale yellow. The second one is physical control. Avoid moving soil from the area from high disease into area of low disease. Control weed to minimize alternate reservoir of plant pathogen or vector of plant disease. Most pichay disease are flavored by excess water, grow on beds, improve drainage, avoid overwatering or wilting leaf. The third one is biological control. Pichay growth under protecting cropping hand up to 3 times greater yield that those growth in the open field. And the last one is chemical control. Botanical insecticide to control insect of Pichay, Brassica pekinensis, 1966, Toledano, Lucero, Pampanga Agriculture.
Disease pathogens. These are the diseases or any pathogenic organisms that infects the whole plant by growing in various body compartments of the plant that makes it die. So these are those pathogens or insects that lays or migrate their eggs in the plant, which may cause die to the plant. The examples of this are diamond back moth or Plotilla silostella in the scientific name. So the nature of damage of this pest is infestations damage the crowns or growing points of young plants or Brussels sprouts or the mga udlot niya or mga leaves. And the signs and symptoms are the skeletonized leaves, severely stunted growth, and webbing on the leaves. Then the management, there are only two managements, which are the cultural control, which wrap the leaves to prevent the migration of it, and biological control. These are the insects that are being used or the natural enemy of this kind of pathogens, which are the H. pneumonid wasp, Diadegma insularis, and Trichogramma. Next will be the cabbage webworm. So, in scientific term, Crocodylomia binotalis. So, the nature of damage of this pest, eggs laid in moss, larvae in clusters, and feed in the growing in the growing tip of the petshai. And the signs of and symptoms of this are wilt, webbing, dead heart, and the managements are there are four managements in this pathogen or insect, which are the cultural control, physical control, biological control, and chemical control. So the first one, management is the cultural control, which is monitoring and field sanitation, physical control, removal of egg moss and larvae, and biological control. So the natural enemy of this pathogen is the parasitic wasp, and its chemical control is the insecticide. Next will be the leaf miner or Leriomyza spp. So the nature of damage of this pest is larvae mine between upper and lower leaf surfaces, creating winding whitish tunnels that are initially narrow but then widen as the larvae grow. So, ginabaraw niya ang stems sa mga plants which kanang himuon nilang puy-anan that may cause the plant to die. The signs and symptoms of this are the leaves is dry, sunburns, and leaf mining. And the management, there are two managements, which are the biological control and cultural control. So in biological control, the natural enemy of these pathogens are the Diglyphos spp and Chrysocaris spp. And cultural control, which are by applying row covers, plastic and spun bonded materials at planting and gradually removing it at first blossom or earlier if needed. So these are the controls that may use for prevention of this pathogen, which is the leaf miner, in order for you to have a good crop. So that's all for the disease pathogens in Petchay. Thank you.